So it looks like we're starting a new tradition in 2021. The balloons and cupcakes were in celebration of the 1 year anniversary of the city clerk, Aisha Thompson, and Council District 4, Councilwoman Dion Falk. So
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you.
happy anniversary.
Thank you, guys.
1 year. All right?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you. That's
Wow.
wrong, Councilman.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So now,
Oh, very nice.
members of the public that want to address the city council orally may call in for the open session on 888-251-2949 or 215-861-0694. And the access code for today only is 950-7848 #. So, Madam City Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor, quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, Housing Authority, Finance Authority, Parking Authority, and the Joint Powers Authority.
Okay. Now, public comment. Any persons wishing to address any of those agencies on the agenda items right now may do so at this time. Operator, are there any callers?
You may press #2 if you wish to comment. Moving to the first caller. Your line is unmuted.
I'm exercising my right to appear anonymously. Number 5, 69 parking spaces for 137 units is not enough, especially with our impact that we've had on all of our traffic, despite saying that it's near the transit things. Additionally, number 11, although the funds are much needed, when you're in violation of Title 2, 3, 6, 9, I think, and others, you cannot receive state or federal funding. So why don't we fix those violations of those items? Regarding DR1, actual access to the meetings is necessary so that we can actually talk about all of the items. There have been many violations of the Brown Act, and we need to stop butts from violating the Brown Act constantly. The DR4, you're giving Consolidated Republic contract rich contracts despite their non-responsiveness to citizen complaints, their poor work, their harassment of the disabled, and citizens' requests for information, which benefits the city and the public, has not been done. Number 10, regarding the destruction of police records, the district attorney, the attorney general, and the DOJ should all be aware that the chief of police has been refusing to meet, provide documents, and has allowed his police department to egregiously violate ADA. That they've also refused to take police reports, enforce restraining orders. IAA has refused to take reports, and if they've gone to the chief of police, there is paperwork that has not been processed. Police officers have harassed and intimidated, and the destruction of these records should not happen, because if we can't get the records that we've been requesting, or the things that we're asking about are not being acknowledged, you guys are going to claim that there was nothing on record and that there's nothing happening. Just like if there's no police report for a crime, obviously it didn't happen. This is unfair. So there needs to be an outside agency to look at these reports and these items that are being on the docket to be destroyed. And if any of them have anything to do with the constituent that the mayor and Padilla are ignoring, then they need to be put on hold, as well as anything that is remotely related to them. You guys have been playing games. You guys deleted and destroyed many documents right before the law went into place, and it appears as though you guys are trying to hide things, because you won't respond to emails, you won't respond to letters, you won't respond to personal visits, you won't set up meetings, all sorts of things that have been promised and other things that are required. So if you keep on ignoring citizens and re-victimizing them and allowing them to be victimized, allowing crimes to escalate and be exacerbated and not address them, that is a huge problem. And it's unfair for you to destroy records if we don't actually know what's in those records. The number alone is not enough.
Thank you very much,
Operator.
Operator.
The records are supposed to, and they've been
Operator.
improperly.
Next caller.
I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to comment on about two agenda items, ordinance O-1 and consent calendar agenda item 5. I am Ray Holler, Crenshaw Imperial Village, Inglewood family homeowners for over 70 years. So first item O-1, Economic and Community Development Department, ECDD, for ordinances related to the proposed transit-oriented development plan, the TOD plan. I request a change for the TOD plan because the ECDD seeks to reduce private parking capacity. In the letter dated today from the ECDD, pages 5 and 6, Table 1, parking requirements for all developed areas are proposed to be reduced from current requirements, suggesting that with their proximity to the metro station, residents and employees will need less parking. This is not my experience in Crenshaw Imperial Village. I have visited the east side of Crenshaw Boulevard, just 1 block north of the metro station, late evenings, in front of the 2-story multi-unit apartments there, and have seen every street parking space completely consumed, despite also having garage alley parking there. Clearly, residents there have not given up their cars, even though the metro, which has been there for years, is just 1 block away. There is some late-night street parking available on the west side of Crenshaw, since housing there is lower density, single-story duplex with alley and street parking. But if buildings on either side of Crenshaw are replaced with build to the maximum structures as part of the TOD plan, and developers are allowed to provide less parking, street parking will become in greater demand and used more, which is counterproductive to the citywide residential permit parking program. Please change the Economic and Community Development Department letter dated today, Table 1, to require more parking than current requirements to increase private parking capacity and reduce reliance on street parking. We need more private property parking, not less. Second item, now I'm going to comment about the consent calendar, agenda item 5, Economic and Community Development Advance Funds Agreement between the City of Inglewood and 225 North La Brea LLC for environmental document preparation costs of a proposed 5-story residential building that consists of 137 studio units and 69 parking spaces at 225 North La Brea Avenue. In the TOD plan letter, Table 1, I just mentioned, current parking requirements are 2 parking spaces per studio unit. So I think the 225 North La Brea project should provide 274 parking spaces, not 69 parking spaces, as is in the proposal. The city should not advance funds for environmental document preparation for a project which I think should not be approved due to lack of adequate parking. Please deny the advance funds agreement request. We need more private property parking, not less, and this was mentioned by the previous speaker. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir. Next caller.
Hi, my name is Dana Bolt, and I'm with the Office of the LA County Public Defender, and I'm calling to oppose the resolution authorizing the destruction of police records. It's on consent calendar item number 10. It is our office's position that the Inglewood Police Department is requesting that documents be destroyed that are subject to discovery under constitutional holdings and California state law. The documents are relevant discovery in criminal cases under the constitutional holdings, and the 5-year retention policies that used to be determinative as of January 1st, 2022, have been taken off pursuant to Senate Bill 776. So our office urges City Council to take item 10 off the consent calendar, refer it to the City Attorney for legal review, and set it aside until such legal review can be completed. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving to the last.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I was just actually calling to find out. I had a question. Did Inglewood actually stop? Do they no longer have a gang unit operating in the city of Inglewood? That's just the question.
Sir, this is for agenda items only. You can come back at the end of the meeting, and you'll have 1 minute to ask your question. Operator, next caller.
No further comments.
Thank you. We'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move out payment.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members, successor agency members, and housing authority members, Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution authorizing the city to implement teleconference public meetings from December 14, 2021 through January the 13th, 2022 for the City Council and all other legislative bodies pursuant to Assembly Bill 361.
Move adoption.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Excuse me, Mayor. Before we move further, you notice there's an appointment as for Mayor Pro Temp for 2022.
I didn't notice that. Where is it?
Oh, right above warrant and bills.
Oh, okay. So.
It's that time
We
again.
get to have that food fight again. So,
I don't think it was a food fight. I was thrown to the lions, man.
so
But I would like to go on record saying that my year was only 6 months.
okay. So do you have a solution?
Well, we could do it when my year completes.
Okay.
That sounds good to me. Any objections? Well, there we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we'll agendize this in June.
June, I believe,
Okay.
June.
or whenever that was happening.
Okay.
So noted.
So we did DR1, and now we went back and did that. So consent calendar, items 2 through 16, I'm going to pull item 10.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye, but we're going to have to go back and do it again. This is 1 through 21.
Oh, yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. So, Mrs. City Attorney, I'm hesitant to ask questions I don't know the answer to, but we had a caller from the Public Defender's Office and said that Senate Bill 776 in some way supersedes our retention policy. Were you able to look that Senate bill up?
No, I haven't, Mayor, but what we do is that anytime the police department,
Was that you, Mayor?
No, I don't think so. I have a modern ring.
and Mayor, that was myself, I was trying to phone a friend. But to answer it, Mayor, is that before the Inglewood Police Department destroys any records, I'll have my department review those files with the Internal Affairs Department to see whether or not any items are going to fit into these areas that they're talking about, specifically related to Brady information.
Oh, I know that, but I'm looking up Senate Bill 776 real quick.
In addition, Mr. City Attorney, the items would have to be specific to some of the records instead of just a blanket saying that there could be some information, right?
Sorry, say that again, please.
The caller stated that there could be some information regarding some of the cases on file,
That's correct.
but there's like no specific item. There's no detail that says that they're whiz. They're just kind of in general.
Correct.
Let's see. It actually discusses the release of records and the requirement to make them available. It talks about making incidents involving use of force available. Requires records relating to findings of unlawful arrest and unlawful searches to be subject to disclosure. Also require disclosure of records relating to an incident in which a sustained finding was made by any law enforcement agency or oversight agency. But it does not talk about superseding retention schedules. So I'm sure, Mrs. City Attorney, you've looked at it real quickly, and I don't see where this Senate bill supersedes retention schedules of a city.
It does have a little bit going to it. It says that it has to be maintained for a period of 30 years if they are related to a sustained finding
Mhm.
of specific conduct, which are the ones that you mentioned.
Yeah.
which would be specific consent, sustained finding that a police officer, custodial officer engaged in conduct involving prejudice or discrimination on the basis of specific protected classes.
That is correct.
Okay, so we'll make our, we're gonna make our vote, but if it's to affirm the retention schedule, it would exclude this class of records.
Mhm.
Correct. The resolution is just requesting destruction of specific internal affair records.
I know it does, but what I was doing was speaking directly to the member of the Public Defender's Office that made her comments. So
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
with that, is there a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. And again, this is to ensure that the records that are approved for,
Destruction.
I don't like that word, for removal are screened to ensure that they comply with Senate Bill 776. Thank you. That'll close out the consent calendar. And we go to DR2.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution authorizing implementation of a signing bonus for lateral police officers.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR3.
Staff report recommending approval of a memorandum of understanding regarding further planning activities with the Vons Company, Inc. to provide for collaboration on advanced planning work related to the proposed Inglewood Transit Connector project.
Move 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR4.
Staff report recommending approval of a 4-year amended and restated agreement with an automatic additional 4-year term, total of 8 years, and the option to extend the term up to 2 years in 1-year increments between the City of Inglewood and Consolidated Disposal Services, LLC, DBA Republic Services for Integrated Solid Waste Management Services.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No.
No.
Okay. SPH 1.
Yes, Mayor. Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to consider an ordinance designating certain portions of the city as an event zone in order to regulate certain activities in connection with Super Bowl 56 and related
Say
events.
Super Bowl 56 again.
Super Bowl 56
That's what I'm
here
talking
in
about.
Inglewood.
Set the public hearing for January 4th, 2022 at 2 p.m. SPH 2.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to receive public comments to determine if the Inglewood Transit Connector project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under Public Resources Code Section 21080, Subdivision B12, and California Code of Regulations Title 14, Section 15275, Subdivision B, as a facility extension not to exceed 4 miles in length, which is required for the transfer of passengers from or to exclusive public mass transit guideway or busway public transit services.
Okay, before we vote on a recommendation, we have a presentation by Lisa Trifoletti.
Members. Thank you very much. The item is twofold. The first is to set a public hearing for January 25th to acknowledge that the Inglewood Transit Connector project is exempt from Sequa. Now, you all know that we are going through a full EIR process. In fact, we have recirculated a draft EIR on November 12th, and the close of the comment period is December 27th. So we are going to continue that process, and we're going to bring forward to you the results of the final of the draft comment period. We'll bring forward to you a final EIR for your and then the associated entitlements. And at that point, you know, we would ask that you consider and approve both the EIR, and then we'll bring forward the exemption as well. But what we'd like to acknowledge, though, is that the Inglewood Transit Connector project, even though we're going through a full EIR process, is also exempt as a transit facility extension. And we've worked with our council, we've worked with Metro's council, and wanted to make sure that that is also put out in the record. We also wanted, because we are now in the process of working with FTA as we're going through seeking federal funds, going through a full NEPA.
Lisa, that's the Federal Transportation Administration for people watching to
Yes.
know that acronym.
Yes, I'll watch the acronyms. So what we wanted to make sure, and for the Federal Transit Administration, as we move forward in the NEPA process, and we're going to be preparing an environmental assessment. That process is starting now, and it's going to happen while we are continuing and finishing the EIR under the California Environmental Quality Act.
Do you explain what NEPA is for people that are watching that aren't consultants?
The NEPA is the equivalent of what we prepare under the California law, but at the federal level, and it is the National Environmental Policy Act. So we have to study the project and ensure that we don't have significant impacts, and we have the appropriate mitigations.
It can have impacts, but you have to provide mitigations.
And disclosure. It's about disclosure. So we're working with the FTA, the Federal Transit Administration now, and as part of their process, they wanted to ensure that the city council is approving this alternative as the locally preferred alternative. You will have another opportunity to, again, approve the project under the California Environmental Quality Act, but the FTA, the Federal Transit Administration, wants to make sure that you approve of this as a locally preferred alternative that would allow the FTA to continue studying the project. So as you know, we've studied multiple alternatives. This is not the right presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. We've studied multiple alternatives, starting with Metro. We looked at extending the Crenshaw line to the SoFi Stadium. We looked at other versions of automated people mover going down Century Boulevard, Arbor Vitae, and Market Street. And we've even studied other modes, going even directly down Prairie Avenue. And so we have all of this documented. It's all been provided to the Federal Transit Administration. It's all available online. It's also captured in the alternatives chapter in the draft EIR. And when we compared all the various different alternatives, the Market Street alignment had the greatest ridership and the most cost-effective solution with the least amount of utility conflicts and the greatest ability to deliver economic development opportunities. And so we came to you early. You guys had blessed this. We want to formally ask for you to adopt this as the locally preferred alternative. We will share this with the FTA. It'll give them the confidence as they move forward in their NEPA process. And all of this, we even looked at, people asked about couldn't we be at grade? And when we looked at being at grade instead of being elevated, we were afraid of losing, capacities in the roadways, as well as if to make some turns, you have to trench in a way that causes more disruption to the local community than if you're elevated. So we've really worked very hard to refine the alignment. We're very proud that tomorrow we're going to have a pre-proposal conference with the industry at large, and folks are very interested getting this process because we're going to be starting the procurement at the same time. So at one point we even looked at what does it mean to have busing instead of even building a transit system. And the busing, while it has a lot of promise for us right now, in the long run, especially as the growth in the city, you're not able to really address the demand and the headways, and your buses are stuck in traffic as well. And so, again, just wanted, for the record, to make sure everybody understood that we've studied a full panoply of alternatives, and we're here to ask your blessing that it be formally adopted today.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved on item 2.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Set the public hearing for January 25th, 2022 at 2 p.m. 01,
Staff report recommending adoption of the 2-year ordinances, ordinance number 22-02 and 22-03, associated with the Westchester Veterans and Crenshaw Imperial Transit-Oriented Development Plan and Design Guidelines.
Motion to waive further reading?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye, move adoption.
2, second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Motion to waive further reading?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
Move adoption number 4?
Second.
Hold on. Hold on. It says motion to for
No.
the reading enters an and, so
Oh,
didn't we do both with
No,
3?
no,
Since I
sir,
said
no,
motion
no,
to waive
you're-
further reading, I only.
No, you're correct, Councilman Morales.
Yeah.
What it is you guys took the motion for ordinance number 22-02, but now we need, number 4 is actually referring to 22-03, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if you're paying attention.
I'm trying, Mayor. I read
All
my
right, all
book
right,
last
all
night.
right.
I'm on it.
Move item 4.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A1,
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1,
Thank you, Mayor. No oral reports from the city manager's office.
CC1.
Yes, Mayor, thank you so much. First of all, thank you to my colleagues for celebrating me on my 1 year. I truly appreciate it. It feels really good working with everyone here in the city of Inglewood. And I don't want to go from, names to names, but to every department in the city of Inglewood. They have been really good to me my first year, and I thank you guys so much. Department heads, administration, everybody. You guys have just been wonderful. Congratulations, Councilwoman Falk. I know it's not easy at all because it hasn't been easy for me, but, working here and working with the staff, you guys have really, really made it a pleasure. And to my staff, thank you guys so much for all that you do and hanging out with me and putting up with me because I'm not that easy and I understand that, but I thank you guys so much. And with that, I would like to wish all of the residents of Inglewood a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, and Happy Kwanzaa. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. CSA 2.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on November 16, 2021.
So move.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Yes, Mayor. Successor agency members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. So we just did, so we're adjourned to successor agency. H2.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting held on November 16, 2021.
Move approval?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Housing Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
H3.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 through 2022 budget to allocate $354,900 for the Emergency Housing Voucher Program.
Move adoption?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Housing Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. H4.
Staff report recommending approval of the temporary policy supplement for emergency housing vouchers, the addition of Chapter 19, and changes throughout the administrative plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Move 1 and 2?
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Housing Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. F1.
Approve of the minutes of the meeting held on November 16th, 2021.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Finance Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
I will adjourn the Finance Authority. P1.
Approve of the minutes of the meeting held on November 16th, 2021.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Parking Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. The JPA is open. JPA 1.
Yes, Mayor. Approve of the minutes of the meeting held on November 16th, 2021.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Joint Powers Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Falk,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. So what do you guys do with all the time you have left when you don't have to prepare all those minutes from years ago?
Well, well, we still have a lot to do because of last week's meeting and this week's meeting. So we'll be here during the break, by the way.
All right.
Yes, sir.
There are no appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Public comment. Any person wishes to address the council on items not on the agenda, you have 1 minute. Operator?
Hello.
Your line is unmuted.
Oh, okay, great. I actually want to know if item 12 was approved. Also, too, on today's agenda, if item 12 was approved.
Absolutely.
Also, that amount can. Okay, great. Is there any way that that amount can be increased?
Not at this time. It'd have to be re-agendized and re-voted on.
All right, great. Does Inglewood still have a gang unit? If not, when was the last time it was in operation?
This is your comment, sir. Go ahead.
And then also, too, I'm new to listening into the city council meetings and I'd like to know how come the most time spent during today's meeting has been spent on Super Bowl and SoFi Stadium issues. There has yet to been any communication or talks regarding the 18 unsolved murders, including my daughter's, Dana Monroe. Maybe I may be naive to Inglewood politics, but what steps is the city taking to actually protect the residents instead of worrying about the commuters traveling back and forth safely and so far?
Was that it, sir?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
so let me address this with you. Every life that's lost in any city is a tragedy. All you can do when you talk about crime is talk about it comparatively. I was a policeman here in the 90s. We would have 50, 55 homicides in a year. When I came back to the city 11 years ago, in the prior 10 years, we were still averaging 25 to 30 homicides a year. The department has engaged in multi-jurisdictional operations focused on the elimination of the hierarchy of gangs in the city. We've run 3 operations with the FBI. They were multi-year investigations, and they resulted in multiple arrests, a dozen or so each time. And the persons prosecuted ended up doing 15 to 19 years in federal prison. It had a drastic impact on the level of gang-related crime. However, we've had an increase from 2 years ago. We had 3 homicides in the city. That was less than Pasadena, Santa Monica, Torrance, and we're very proud of that as a city as to what it was saying about where we were going. There was an incident that occurred in Los Angeles on Slauson near Crenshaw, where a gang member defaced a mural dedicated to Nipsey Hussle. And it set off a spasm of gang-related shootings and retaliations throughout Los Angeles, with some spillover to Inglewood. I feel so badly for your family to lose your daughter. But here's the reality. The reality is when someone decides to go and kill indiscriminately. Here's one thing they do. They do it in a place where the police are not present. There is no way possible that you can ensure that the police are going to be present everywhere some homicidal maniac decides to do the unthinkable. Ms. Avant was killed in Beverly Hills in a gated community in a home that had its own security guard. So I say this to say, we do everything that we can to keep people safe. But the issue is a lot larger one. It's societal. Every one of these people that kill, they have relatives. Every one of these people that kill, they have friends that know what they've done. There comes a time when there has to be responsibility societally where these people have no safe haven, no quarter. And until we do that, you're going to have people that decide that they're going to kill. That being said, it's our responsibility to maintain public safety as best we can. And so, while that may not be satisfying to you, and it can't be because you lost a loved one, I'm just giving you the reality of the situation. Operator, any other callers?
Yes, moving on to the next question. Your line is unmuted.
Again, you guys have loaded the agenda, making and not giving us enough time to respond, violation of the Brown Act, continuing ongoing, as well as last week and other ones this week as well. We did not have enough time for public comment last week. The public hearing regarding the water issue and all the illegalities surrounding it was not, we did not have time to address it. There are continued ADA violations. You have not responded regarding the drones terrorizing women at their homes. Last week, Padilla stated that if we call or write to you guys, you'll respond. But Butts and Padilla have publicly admitted on 12/15/20 that they're ignoring this constituent in particular, as well as other things are going on, and they still have not responded to phone calls, emails, and not them nor the meetings. Also, if you did a pro tem and it's going to last past through next June, will it be lasting past an election? Is there going to be a pro tem while we're electing a new mayor? What happened to the Citizen Police Commission? Also, if you sustained a finding but you refused to find something,
Thank you, ma'am. Operator, next caller.
Don't have any fairness.
Operator, next caller, please.
Your line is unmuted.
Hello, this is Ray Holler, trustee for Family Trust, which owns a house in Crenshaw, Imperial Village. As the year-end approaches, I thank the mayor, city council, staff, and police, and particularly with regard to previous discussion. I thank city employees and contractors and all for working to make Inglewood better. All I really want for Christmas is for Parking Zone 11 to be granted the choice to opt into the citywide residential permit parking program instead of having the program applied directly, since it should be eligible consistent with the criteria in the criteria in the Public Works staff report to the City Council and letter to residents. Be safe and well during the holidays and beyond. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir. Operator, any other callers?
No further comments?
Okay. So we're going to go to council remarks. Before I'd like to start because I have an important message. You know, we made an effort to attain a current assessment of the residential housing stock in the city of Inglewood. And there are multiple reasons for that. And the most important one is that we have a number of investment companies that are buying properties in the city. And we want to make sure that we have a current inventory of all of our residential units. The people say, why don't you go with the assessor? The assessor's records are not always up to date. And so the Housing Protection Department mailed correspondence indicating a requirement for all residential property owners to register their property online through our residential registration system. However, there was a lot of anxiety, confusion, misinformation spread to the owners of single-family residences, and people, you know, they were upset. And you know, we, the council, we care about people's feelings, and at this point, the level of anxiety, apprehension, uncertainty is not worth the utility it will give the city to have this up-to-date database of single-family residences. So I'm announcing now, and I'm going to do a PSA, that owners of single-family properties do not have to register their properties. The registration period that starts in January does not apply to you. It does continue to apply at single-family residences and condominiums that are not owned by a company, corporation, or real estate investment trust. Those will still have to register. But single-family properties or condominiums owned by the resident will not have to register. The registration still applies to all the multifamily units as stated before. And with that, Councilman Dodson, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that clarification. I know your office has been getting a lot of calls, and mine has too, so thank you so much.
Calls and threats, but go ahead.
And opinions.
I don't know how to say anything but thanks. I wish it was another word that I could use for the generous way that my sponsors came in with donations for the Christmas giveaway. How do you thank somebody for making dreams come true for kids? But I want to thank everyone, every sponsor, every volunteer who came out and gave of their time so that this Candy Cane Lane could be a successful event. Without your assistance, this would never have been able to happen. I just got to call out some names. I don't like to do that, but the principals at Warren Lane and Kelso, thank you so much for going out and getting these families for us, and then getting them to Candy Cane Lane. I want to thank the Captain Robertson at Station 173 for coming out and spending the whole day with us and helping us get the families through and had the kids to come out and take pictures on the fire truck. You can never know what that meant to some of these children. They had a wonderful time. We watched their faces light up for the Santa Claus as well as the fire truck. Well, now, I probably said that wrong because the fireman was saying it's an engine. So I don't know if it's an engine or truck, but the fire.
They call them engines.
Engine, okay. So they were very happy about that. I want to thank the people from my organization that came out, like Ms. Glendman Goodman, my assistant Alicia Smith, Commissioner Bill West, Commissioner Lee Denneman, Commissioner Charles Braggs, and Commissioner Patricia Patrick. These are people who volunteered their time, and they came out and spent the whole day with us. And last but not least, I don't know how to even thank this guy.
Santa Claus?
Yeah. He made things so, I mean, people came, even people who didn't even know anything about it. They passed by and brought their kids through the line. And thank God we had enough to give everybody something. But Mr. Harry Frisbee, I don't know how I will ever be able to thank you because you made this thing happen. You really did. And I want to thank you for bringing your son out as an elk. He did a wonderful job. Thank both of you guys. And I want to say, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. But remember, be safe and have a wonderful holiday season. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'm through.
Thank you. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Great, no, thank you. Great job, Councilman. Great job. You know, heck, today we, okay, I guess I'm gonna start with my toy drive. Let me get in there. I was gonna skip to other stuff, but no, this is perfect. So I just, again, you know, I'm just very grateful of all the acts of kindness that our community came out to support our families in need. We were able to bless somewhere around 40 families here in the Inglewood area, in Inglewood and the adjoining area, kids from the Inglewood Unified School District. We were able to bless different organizations such as the South Bay Work Investment Board with their reentry program, so that those families can also have a wonderful Christmas. The St. Margaret Center, a couple other organizations. But again, very grateful for our community that came out to show the support. I want to thank Republic Services. They came out in thunder, bringing out a bunch of gifts for our kids, for our families. So thank you to Republic Services. You know, as you can see, we had our Santa Claus there, and he as well brought smiles and joy to not only the kids, but to the adults as well. You know, Santa Claus is for everyone. So thanks again to everybody that gave us toys and canned food. Everything got dispersed. I think the last family's coming today, this afternoon. I just want to move on to talk about a little, you know, look, our packets were pretty full for this meeting. Sometimes at the end of the year, we get a lighter packet, but the mayor said, you guys ain't taking it that easy. Him and the city manager said, we're going to put you to work. So we did a lot of reading. You know, you look at the retention document issue that we talked about, item 10, I believe it is. And, you know, there's legal criteria that we have to meet. This is not just an arbitrary thing that that we do. And we are taking into consideration SB 776 as we make these decisions. It runs by our city attorney. So all the legal aspects of this is done. On this case, most of it was administrative investigations. There was some use of force documents, but pursuit review and vehicle foot pursuits, as well as traffic collisions, are some of those documents that are included this time around. We also had IPD with the signing bonus for laterals that are looking to get in to come to the Inglewood Police Department. Any police officers out there that have their post certification that would like to lateral to the Inglewood Police Department, please reach out to our agency. You know, again, we approved a $10,000 signing bonus for laterals. We approved, or we're looking to get into a process for, Mayor, can I have a minute?
Of course you can.
Thank you, Mayor. A grant application. Well, after last time, man, Elo was all over me for taking 20 minutes. Look, we're doing a grant application for Vincent Park to help with our restrooms throughout the park. Those are important things that our Parks and Recs folks, working with Public Works, that we're getting done. Housing vouchers. Look at all this that we did today for the housing vouchers. We always, you know, talk about how we're helping out folks that need assistance, and that was part of what we approved today, the intelligent transportation system, so we can get traffic flow through the city of Inglewood with everything going on. Again, some amazing things that we're doing. So, we're continuing to keep our foot on the gas, even at the end of the year. That being said, reminder, after Friday, City Hall is closed for 2 weeks. So please don't feel blindsided. You're going to come and knock at the front door. Nobody told us that they were closed. It's been in our newsletters. We've announced it at the council meetings. So please, if you have something that needs to be done, please take care of business. With that, I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy New Year, Prospero Año Nuevo. Gracias.
Okay, so before we continue on with council comments, we have an end of the year video for 2021. And Thomas, if you have it queued up, we're ready.
Let's take a look at SoFi Stadium as fans exit the stadium here after preseason game number 1 here. Tonight had the feel of a first-time event. NFL football, nothing new there, but because of what we have been through this past year and a half, this was like a new beginning. Rams and the Chargers in their new home.
2021 has been a challenging year. And that's it.
That was awesome.
It was a year for the city of Inglewood, but the resilience of our community has allowed for us to slowly rebuild to what is going to be the new great normal.
Here we go. It's week 1 from SoFi Stadium, the very first game in front of fans. That counts. Let's go. Quick throw. Mike Williams makes the first man miss. Toward the end zone, leads. Touchdown, Chargers.
Inglewood is now seen as one of the top tier cities in the United States of America. words escape me for the magnitude of what this accomplishment means to the city of Inglewood. Everything that Inglewood has done, we've had to fight other interests, and we've had to persevere. And here we are today, breaking ground on what's going to be the most magnificent basketball arena.
When 18,000 people share the same transformative experience, the building comes alive. And we're spring-loading this ground with that life.
LA Clippers are here now in the city of Inglewood, baby. Here we come, baby. We coming for you.
The dream is to give access to our new generations in a community as beautiful as Inglewood.
Never would I have dreamed that this would be the center for culture in the great city of Inglewood. Thank you, LA Phil. Thank you, everyone that had a hand in rounding the city out. And thank you on behalf of the children of Inglewood. On behalf of the City Council and the people of Inglewood, we are all united for housing, education, economic opportunity for everyone. We know there's nothing more important than a safe, stable home. It's the foundation upon which all good things happen.
I mean, it's always about Inglewood with me, man. This community has taken me in years ago, and this is something that we've been doing for a long time to establish our relationship in the community to make sure that everybody has a meal, that everybody has something to look forward to for Thanksgiving. It's called Thanksgiving, so we want people to be thankful, and we have the opportunity to give back, so this is what we look forward to doing every year.
We never forget the people, and so we're so grateful to be able to provide meals for families at this time of Thanksgiving.
Christmas, City of Inglewood.
Feliz Navidad, everybody.
I want to take this opportunity to wish every single one of you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Have a wonderful, safe holiday.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
This is the holiday season. We hope you and your family are healthy and happy. Merry Christmas.
Oh, and if you want to see it again, it's going to be on Channel 35. I really want to take a moment to compliment Thomas Bunn and Carlos and KD of our video unit. You know, when we got stable, one of the things we added was the capacity for videography, because without that unit, we just miss history, and they are documenting history, and I have so much appreciation for them. Thank you guys very much. So we're going to go on to Councilwoman Dion Falk in District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm a little emotional. I'm going to start with my 1 year here on City Council. I'm a little bit emotional watching that video, and just so happy to and blessed to be able to sit in this seat and make a difference for the residents of Inglewood. I don't take it lightly. I value my colleagues up here, support me, everything I do. They give me grace when I'm trying to learn. It's a lot to be a council member. Really appreciate the mayor, Eloy, George, Alex, for everything. And I so appreciate our administration, Artie, Lewis, and Ken, and Chris Jackson, and everybody else. It's just been a wonderful blessing and a tremendous journey. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm just looking forward to 2022. And I'm going to stop there. And I also want to thank my assistant, Lori. It was really difficult coming in. I wanted to be perfect, and I put a lot of pressure on her, and she rose to the occasion. She's been an amazing assistant, and I value her. So, and one more person, I want to thank my husband, Shannon Falk, and my boys, Fitzgerald and Sebastian. They are along with me on this journey, and a lot of times mommy's not home. Mommy's here or mommy's at a meeting, and they've been very supportive, and I just really appreciate my family, and just want to thank you all so much for all your support. That's all I have, Mayor.
Shoot, Dion, you got me ready to
Yeah, I
cry.
know, yeah, right. How do you follow that?
Councilman Morales, District 3.
Dion, congratulations on a fabulous first year, and I'll just say you make us better. You make us better. For me, I have a few announcements. We lost a resident. His name is Enrique Borrell. I would like to close in his honor. A member of the Truro Block Club, which is one of the oldest block club, and he used to walk around the entire neighborhood inviting everybody. So he is a big loss. I started, I don't know if, Thomas, if you have any pictures, I don't know if Jaime gave you. A few years back, I started doing a different type of Christmas event where I started picking areas that I could raise money for. I started with some athletic programs which had lost funding at some of the high schools, and I moved into other nonprofits. This year, we did 3 PTAs, which is the Parent Teachers Association. We did Oak Street, we did Beulah Payne, and we did Hudno. And, it was something that they're going to be using it for athletic equipment as well as events throughout the years, one science fair, and some of the things that need to be done at the schools. In addition, we don't have a picture, but We helped the U.S. vets raise some money for a tree, and I want to thank our sponsors for all of it. Those are things that, to us, we visit them throughout the year at different events, and it's just nice to play a role in helping them plan for the rest of the year. So thank you for that. In regards to the actual year, 2021, I have to say we had a great year here in the city of Inglewood. We used to celebrate these small items in the city of Inglewood, these small successes. I remember celebrating extra sidewalks being done, and now we celebrate stadiums. We celebrate groundbreakings that matter, and we're just a different city, and we need to take a moment to acknowledge everybody who's worked so hard for where we are today. The mayor, my colleagues, all of the staff, and the city, the residents. I just want you to know, you deserve it. You deserve it. So with that, Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. I left out a name. Helene from our video crew edited this fabulous video we just saw, and so we want to know that we appreciate you, my man. Just one more thing about gang violence, so people understand it. Murders are up so much higher in Los Angeles, and we take little solace in that. The fact that our average homicides per year are half what they were. We won't be satisfied until we have none, but that's going to take a community awakening and effort so the people that do these things. To give you an example, a rapper by the name of 400 was shot and killed last week, 8600 block of 7th Avenue in the middle of the night. The officers were so close they heard the gunshots, and the killer was gone by the time they rounded the corner. The victim was a resident of Compton who was visiting someone in Inglewood, which let you know that, and they, by a video that was obtained, you could see that they knew each other. And so it was a targeted killing. And I read in a Facebook blog that someone said this homicide and City Hall is silent. I don't know what you would expect City Hall to say. There's nothing that we can say that's going to bring back someone to loved ones. We put out press releases. We have an investigative unit that now is over 70% in solvability ratio for homicides. So understand this, that every time I'm notified and then I notify the council that a crime like this has occurred, we hurt. And we hurt with the families. So there's nothing that you can really say, but I'm talking right now because a gentleman called, he lost his daughter. And I want you to hear me when I say we take every one of these incidents very seriously. We do the best we can to protect people, and we'll continue to do that. And now I'm going to close the council meeting in the name of Enrique Morel, and also Michael Collins, who passed a little over a week ago. He was in Parks and Recreation. He finished his service as a supervisor. He died at the age of 60, congestive heart failure. And I just want to encourage all of us to seek information about what we eat, the impacts of carbohydrates, sugars, salts on the body, because that's another evolution that needs to occur. We're raised to eat everything in front of us. We're raised to believe that we need to eat 3 times a day, plus snacks, plus whenever we go somewhere. And that's just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for your body. I can tell you that. I almost died from it. So, Michael Collins, I've known you for well over 30 years before he started with the city. And he was so good to all the kids in the basketball program. Just a good man. So we're going to adjourn in his honor and Enrique Burrell. We're adjourned.